There's a fire inside all of us. It starts as a spark, a word, a look, a moment that feels unfair. And suddenly, your chest tightens, your thoughts race, your heartbeat grows louder. You feel it, that burning, that heat that demands to be released. Anger, it tells you you're right, it tells you you're strong, it tells you to strike back, now. But here's the truth. Every time you give in to anger, you hand over your peace. You hand over your clarity. You hand over your power. The Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, they faced betrayal, loss, and disrespect in ways most of us can't imagine. Yet, they remained calm. Why? Because they understood this. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And that is where your power lies. So today, let me share with you 5 Stoic strategies to help you master your anger before it masters you. Because the calmest person in the room always wins. 1. Pause before you react. The power of the gap. Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." You see, anger lives in impulse. It feeds off speed. It wants you to speak without thinking, to move without reflection. But the Stoic understands the power of the gap, that tiny, invisible moment between what happens and what you do next. That's where your strength lives. So when someone disrespects you, when you feel your blood boil, pause, breathe, step away if you must. Even 5 seconds of silence can save you from 5 days of regret, because the moment you pause, something magical happens. You step out of the emotion and step into awareness. That pause is not weakness. That pause is power. In that space, you don't just stop anger. You become its master. 2. Change the story in your mind. It's not what happened. It's how you see it. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens that disturbs you. It's your judgment about what happens." Think about that. It's not the insult itself. It's what you told yourself about it. You said, "They disrespected me." You said, "They don't value me." You said, "They crossed the line." But what if they didn't mean it that way? What if they were just speaking from their own pain, their own confusion, their own weakness? When you shift your perception, everything changes. You begin to see that most people aren't trying to hurt you. They're trying to survive their own storms. And once you realize that, you stop reacting. You start understanding. Because anger can't survive in a mind that sees clearly. He wrote, "When you wake up each morning, remind yourself, you will meet people who are selfish, arrogant, and ungrateful. But remember, they act from ignorance. Understanding replaces judgment. Empathy replaces anger. And peace replaces pain." 3. See anger as weakness. Real strength is calm. In today's world, anger is glorified. People mistake rage for power, aggression for confidence, loudness for leadership. But the Stoics knew better. They knew anger doesn't make you powerful. It makes you puppet-like. It makes you predictable, controlled. Anyone who can make you angry owns you. Marcus Aurelius said, "You will become what you give your attention to." Feed your anger, you become chaos. Feed your peace, you become unshakable. Real power is staying composed when others lose control. It's walking away when your ego screams to fight. It's choosing silence when your pride wants to prove a point. That's strength. That's dominance. That's stoicism in action. Because the calmest person in the room is always the most powerful one. 4. Remember, anger always ends in regret. The price of the flame, Seneca warned us. Anger always outlasts the hurt that caused it. And he was right. The spark that starts the fire fades fast, but the damage remains. The words you can't take back, the trust you can't rebuild, the peace you can't recover. Anger convinces you to burn everything, and then it walks away when the smoke clears. So before you react, ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow? Will I be proud of what I say next? If the answer is no, stay silent because silence never needs an apology, and that, my friend, is wisdom. 5. Practice empathy. Everyone is carrying something, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning. You will meet people who are selfish, arrogant, and ungrateful, but remember, they act from ignorance. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. That rude driver, that cold friend, that disrespectful stranger. They might be drowning in stress, grief, or pain. They might be broken in ways you'll never understand. Empathy doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. Because when you see pain behind people's actions, your own anger begins to fade. You realize they're not the enemy, they're just human. You don't forgive because they deserve peace. You forgive because you deserve peace. That's Stoic compassion, the kind that turns fire into light. And closing, the stillness of power. The Stoics never said, don't feel anger. They said, don't let anger control you. Because anger is energy, and when you master it, it becomes fuel. Fuel for patience, fuel for discipline, fuel for growth. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you win a silent victory inside yourself. Every time you choose restraint over reaction, your soul gets stronger. So the next time life tests your patience, remember this: the calm sea doesn't fear the storm, because it is the storm. Mastered. Final words: control your anger, and you control your life. This is how a Stoic stays unshaken.